right, a very good evening wherever you are watching us from. This is Kak TV and introducing a very new brand, a very new kid, the new kid in the block. This is Uongozini show, a show by the leader for the leader. And for that matter, my name is Vincent Kerosi as always, but I want to introduce a very not new face to you, but a new face in such programming on Kak TV. He is the one and only Dr. Robert Waihenya. I like the way he says his name. You usually say Waihenya. It is not Waihenya as we know it.
Yeah, sure.
Dr. Robert Waihenya, he is the SG, the Secretary General of the PCA Church. Again, he is the main man of the show, and I want to take this time to invite and welcome him officially to the show. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Kelosi, and thank you for pronouncing my name well.
I got it right.
Yeah, you got
for
it
the very
right.
first time.
Yeah, sure. My name is Robert Waihenya, and more to that, I love the Lord as my personal savior.
Right.
And I'm here for this show, the Uongozini, whereby we intend to bring out issues about leadership and to redefine leadership and to look for examples and what exactly is leadership and how can we be able to over leadership. Leadership is different. Leadership emanates from one person, from within. And therefore, as you compare your leadership with the other person's leadership, what exactly is leadership? So that is what we'll be looking into. And also considering that one of the issues we are lacking in the world today is leadership. So we need to define and we need to tell people what is leadership really. Because all of us are in leadership in one way or another. It is not about me just because I'm the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. Because you cannot read alone. And again, you cannot read without a group which is following you. So what exactly is leadership will be the core issue we're going to dig
That is
into.
the big question that you will be answering in this show. And we are just beginning, of course, with you today. But I know that the panel is going even to grow even as we continue the show, because we want to have everyone on board as far as leadership is concerned. But to just begin, you know, people see you, people sometimes see you from afar. There are people closer to you, but they don't know really who. Now, allow me to put aside the SG. Who is Dr. Robert Waihenya?
Well, Robert Waihenya is just a simple man. Very simple. And yes, I'm married and I have 3 children who are fairly grown up. 2 of them at the university. The last one is in grade 9 or something like that.
And I must say that they're all my friends.
Yeah, good. They are very fond of you. They are your good friends. So that is my family. In terms of other issues, I've been in this church for a long time, because I was ordained in the year 2003. That's quite a long time. We're talking of 20 years.
2 decades.
Yeah, 2 decades. It looks like yesterday, but I realized that it's a long time. I'm growing old. Then I was ordained at a place called Remuru. So that is where I was ordained. And I also served there for some time at a parish called Garariga. And I stayed there for some years. Then from there, I moved on to a parish called Bagathi. Bagathi is
just here?
Yeah, in Ongai.
Okay.
So, and there we had a very successful and a very good ministry. And also I became the clerk of the presbytery. That was the Raja Gong Hills Presbytery then. Although we later subdivided it to have 2 presbyteries. Then I also became the secretary to the Nairobi region of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, whereby, you know, it extends all the way from Mombasa to Masailand and Nairobi area. So it was quite a task. Then I served for about 4.5 years. After that, I proceeded to the U.S., where I did my master's at Columbia University in Georgia. And then, before I went to the U.S., I had started another master's degree at Catholic University. And by the time the church told me to go to the U.S., I was remaining with only one term, one semester for that matter. But the church told me to, first of all, go and do that other master's degree. Then
so you had to defer what you did here?
Yeah, that's what I did. I went to the U.S., then I came back and I finished my degree. So then after that, I did my PhD at Catholic University, which I finished 3 years ago. And yeah, that is me in terms of academics.
You're still a student right now, actually.
I'm a student. I have many things. I think, well, I'm one person who don't talk about me.
Yourself a lot. That is why I give you an opportunity. People just
and it is always
a
good. It is always good to remain, you know, in the background.
Watu wanasema, do not blow your own trumpet.
Yes, don't blow your own trumpet. But Kelosi, I have a background in law, and I'm still pursuing something in law right now. So yeah, it's good. I've also done philosophy. I did it at Catholic University. So those are some of the issues I've done.
You're also a lecturer.
Yes, I teach. I teach at Presbyterian University. There was a time I was also teaching at Catholic University. Now I'm not because of a lot of work. And I also teach at Columbia University. So I'm also a teacher. Yeah, and I love it. The only thing I don't like is marking.
Because you feel that you become unfair sometimes.
No. You know, marking involves a lot of time. And when you have 100 students and you're required to mark, you know, it takes a lot of time. I love teaching. And I do mark. In fact, I mark and I just sacrifice for the whole week. I go through them. But marking is not very sweet.
That's your favorite.
It's not good. It's not good. But teaching is good. And maybe I would say that that's where I would wish to end my career. In teaching.
Probably to become a professor somewhere.
Well, I would not mind. I'm still doing some things towards that. But just teaching. It is so satisfying when you see yourself transforming students and, you know, and then they become people who are doing things. It is very, very satisfying. You know, that is leadership.
Yes, that is leadership.
Because a leader is supposed to create other leaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you don't do that, you are not a leader.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is one of the things we should do. And that is something people don't realize about those who are in teaching profession. That, okay, there is no money in teaching profession, but there is a lot of satisfaction.
The impact it also creates in the society.
Because you see, and when you meet your students and you see how they are faring and how they are changing the world, it is a lot. It gives you a lot of satisfaction. So that the satisfaction which comes with teaching, you know, it is so big, and that is what I'm calling leadership, because you multiply what you have. You multiply what you have. The only thing you're not supposed to multiply is your foolishness.
I want to believe that all teachers are presumed not to be foolish.
Well,
they are all presumed to be wise.
They are wise.
And all knowing, for that matter.
All knowing. And again, as a teacher, you learn as you continue to teach. I always tell people, because you've asked me this, Kelosi, why are you in school? And I tell people, I'm not in school for me to be employed. No. I'm not in school for me to look for a job. But I'm in school because I've realized, and I continue to realize, that there's so much I don't know. And therefore, in that area, I tell people, once I realize that I'm foolish, I have to remain with my teachers so that I continue being sharpened, to be trained and to be shown, to be encouraged. You know, I sit in a class with very young boys and girls. And we even form groups. So I tell them, okay, fine, we're in this group, doing this project, but when we meet in the church, don't remind me about the project.
Let me ask you, in those cohorts of you know, of classes, sometimes do these young boys become the leaders of the group, and you are a member, you're just a member? And
yes, and actually I don't accept to become a group reader. Let them read, and you see how they are reading, and you guide them.
Yeah.
You tell them this is not how. And you know, some of them are not serious with their academic works.
Yeah.
So incidentally, most of those young guys, you know, they love being in my group. Yeah. Well, because of many things, but I don't allow myself to become a group reader. I can't. So let them read, let me encourage them.
Yeah.
We discuss, and I tell them, can you look at me as a fellow student while here?
Oh, yeah.
Not as a reader somewhere else, but one of you.
Yeah.
So that is how. Because readership, again, is about humility, and we are going to talk about that.
Exactly.
If at all you don't have an element of lowering yourself to go to that level, then you cannot be a reader.
You can't read.
A reader is somebody who is able to metamorphosize and become what people don't expect you to become.
Yeah. And actually people say that the best leadership is servant leadership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's servanthood is about taking the lowest level.
Yeah.
You see, I don't take my collar into the class. I don't. But I finish with them in class as a student. And then in the next class, I'm teaching them. I'm their lecturer.
And they give you a lot of respect
yes,
for that.
you take different caps, you know, at different moments. And that is what we call readership. Yeah, and I have got no problem. In fact, because I'm finishing my course this August, I'm already contemplating what else should I do. Yes, I'm lighting several things, but I still want to continue. You
want to become
Yeah.
better and better.
Yeah.
And I believe that's an awesome way to bring a background into the show. But I want to tell the viewer that you can also become a part of this show. You can give us your feedback. You can ask questions to the SG here, question that you feel you need to know about him that you don't know. Question you need to understand about leadership, not just the church leadership, but orally, generally, what leadership entails. And you can get in touch with us on our social media pages, CAC TV Kenya on Facebook, CAC TV _ Kenya on Twitter, as well as our SMS number 0311 22 0044. That's 0311 22 0044. And we'll be able to, sample all your feedback, all your questions, all your engagements, even as we continue with the show. Actually, are you on social media? Can they also reach you on social media? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I'm in social media, but currently I've put a post on my social media platforms due to many issues. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think you need a handler, and I can be your handler of your social media.
Yeah, this thing can drive you crazy.
Platforms. I know you have a lot to do. But SG, just to begin, you've walked out this path. You've told me the journey that you've walked in your schooling, all through to the levels of leadership that you've, got yourself engaged and involved in. This has helped you develop a specific way of defining leadership. If I sat with you here and asked you, how do you define leadership? You as the SG of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, and you as Dr. Robert Waihenya.
Well, to answer that, Kelosi, we need to look widely at what leadership is.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say that there is no church and secular leadership. Readership is readership. But church leadership is more difficult than the secular leadership. Leadership is readership because you are reading the same people and you are dealing with people. But church leadership is more complicated. It is more difficult. I always tell people this. You see, people come to the church and they choose a particular church out of their own
Volition.
Yes, their own reasons. If my members, and many times we misuse our members, if those whom I read choose not to come to church on Sunday, what can I do?
You don't have members?
Yes. I cannot go to the chief, I cannot take them to court, I cannot do anything. So, it is by grace. And therefore, even when they're in the church and you tell them, okay, let us stand and do hymn number 2, and they fail to stand, there's nothing you can do to these people. But in an organization, if I tell you, Kelosi, I want your duty is to clean this room, and I come and find the room is not clean, I can give you a warning letter, a second letter, and I can sack you. So, in secular, there is that authority to force you to do what you're supposed to do. This is something we don't have in the church. And therefore, we need to understand the church authority and the difference between the secular leadership and the church leadership. I've heard so many people explain or talk about church leadership on the same breath with the secular leadership. Leadership is leadership, yes, but the principles are different. The styles are different. How you apply your leadership is different. Because you must handle your people properly in the church more than you do it in the secular world. And therefore, you must consider what leadership is, and you look at what many people talk about leadership. Number one, leadership is not a position. It is not a position. And this is one mistake we make. There are some people who are so influential, and they are better leaders, but they don't have a position. So we need to understand that leadership is not the position you hold. I can be the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, but I'm not a leader. Yes, I have the position, but I am not a leader.
You are not influencing.
Influence. We are going to come to that. We are going to come to that because leadership. There is somebody who said this is somebody called Warren Bennis. Warren Bennis said leadership is the ability and the capacity to translate your vision into reality. If I get into a position and I don't have a vision, then I'm not a leader. So the first question, and I thought that could have been your first question.
Okay.
What is your vision as a leader? Because if at all you are a leader and you don't have a vision, then you are not a leader. There is nothing which you're going to translate into a reality, into what we are calling a vision translated into reality.
You're kind of blind. You're blindly leading.
You have the position, yes. You have all the privileges, yes. But you have a vision. Can you stand and tell your followers, this is my vision? Let me tell you, the most dangerous thing we can do is to have a leader without a vision. Because that kind of a leader will frustrate everybody else, and they look at everybody else with a vision as a threat. And that is how organizations stagnate. That's how organizations fail to grow. Leadership without vision. Then we recently had a guy who visited us here. This guy called Bill Gates. Love him or hate him, he's a leader. And this is what he said recently, that leadership is about those who empower others. And I love this, because you asked me, what kind of a leader are you? I believe in giving others their space. I believe in tolerating everybody. And I believe in empowering others. Waihenya is so temporary. So I need to prepare others to come over. It is not easy, because there are people who will fight you, there are people who will oppose you, there are people who would think this is not the way to go, and with this generation who think, no, why should you build others, not me? Why should you favor this or that? Which is wrong. Leadership is about empowering others, as Bill Gates said. He said that here the other day when he visited Kenya. So we need to understand that. Then we have this man, and he's one of the most popular person in leadership, called John Maxwell. John Maxwell said simple that leadership is influence. How do you influence your people? You know, you can have leadership without any influence. For instance, if you are leading a corporate body, if you are leading a government like we have with the current government, you must influence people. If at all you don't have any influence, then you are not a leader.
Yeah. And the influence is about having a following. If
Exactly.
people cannot copy and buy into who you are and what you are creating, then no point of you being called a leader.
No point of you being called a leader.
Yeah.
In fact, if at all you are not able to influence your congregation or your followers to paint a room like this one, then you are not a leader. You are not a leader. And let me tell you this. In leadership, you always have opposition. In leadership, as you influence people, you need to realize that there is what we call the 20-20-60 principle.
Okay.
That in any organization, 60% of people will love you, 20% will hate you. And that one is given. Then 20%
Neither here nor
neither
there.
here nor there.
They don't love you, they don't hate you.
Yeah, they don't love you, they don't hate you. Those are people whom you ask, oh, who is your Secretary General? They don't know. Who is your moderator? They don't know. Who is your CEO? They don't know. Who is your chairman? They don't know. Because they are there. They're just there. They're good. But they are neither here nor there. But you must influence people despite encountering the 20% of people who will oppose you. Because you'll be opposed.
And this is not something easy to do.
No, it's not easy.
You have people are really opposing you,
Yeah.
but you have to still stand your ground and work as a leader, influence despite of these 20% of opposition.
Exactly.
Not easy
Steer
to
the
do.
ship.
Yeah.
Steer the ship.
Yeah.
And as a leader, and you expect 100% support, then you don't know where you are. You can't. You can't. Do you know in leadership, it is only in leadership where you're opposed by those who know you best. You see, there are people who want you fail, there are people who will hold your feet so that you don't move. You see, like now, Kelsey, in every leadership position, and leadership is loved by everybody.
Although, everyone to be there because
although we are going to talk about the risks of leadership.
Yeah.
But people can oppose you in leadership because they don't want you to do that, because they want your position. And if you do that, the 20%, if you do that, and they want to get into that position, then you get credit. So they oppose you.
Mm-hmm. Kind of to smear you, to mud smear you, in a way.
Yeah, kind of that. But again, they also want to slow you down. Mm-hmm. They don't want to support you. They don't want you to actualize your vision. Because they want, if Kelosi does this, being our CEO, then he's going to become more popular then.
Mm-hmm. Then my hopes of getting to that position will be...
So let me hold it so that I do it when I get there. Unfortunately, what happens, it becomes a vicious cycle. So that you fail to support the one who is there, and then you are sad, and others you fail to support you, and then the cycle continues. So leadership, as we said, is about influence. Kindly learn how to influence people. So finally, I want to say that this is my own definition. This is my own. So don't look at it anywhere.
I want to write it down so that I can credit to you anytime I'll be using it.
Yeah. So I say that leadership is the ability of building on your own predecessors. The ability of building upon your own predecessors. And the ability to equip those who come after you. That is leadership. It's a baton which was given to you by somebody. You learn your part and hand it over to somebody else. That is leadership. If I don't acknowledge that the position I hold had somebody, and I spend my entire time criticizing those who are there before me, that is not leadership. You fail. I build on what my predecessor did, and I build from there, whether it was good or bad, but I build from there. I put my best foot forward. And then at the end of my term, I ensure that I hand the baton to somebody so that that person may continue.
I want us to take a short break so that we come and continue. But what you've said has actually, kind of shifted my mind and looking at what we go through as a country when it comes to transition from government to the other. Our government begins projects. When a new regime comes in, they begin new projects. The ones that were begun by the previous regime are, thrown under the carpet. And that was, kind of, not building upon what was begun by someone. And that's particularly what we're also going to talk about. We're also going to mention a little bit on what is going on pertaining the leadership in the country. But before then, we have a lot to cover pertaining how you see leadership from where you're seated. But I want us to take a short break and remind our viewer that you can also become a part of this show by engaging us on our social media pages, CAC TV Kenya, CAC TV _ Kenya on Twitter, as well as our SMS number 011122004. We'll be able to look at what you're saying and be able to even from the questions that you'll be asking the SG right here. We are due for a short break, a short commercial break, but when we come back, we'll be able to continue with the conversation. You have any question and concern and engagement, kindly let it keep coming, and we'll be able to sample that even as we continue with the show. Do not go away, we'll be right back.
defeat CAC now and going forward. We have a lot of family programs, and this being a Christian commercial station, we will partner with you as institutions, as individuals, so that we are able to reach out to the entire world. One person said that my parish is the entire world, and I believe that CAC TV is going globally, and therefore bring your business. We are going to advertise it and also partner with you.
To partner with us, send your financial support to pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. Pay bill number 401-9613, account partner. The Presbyterian College of Health Sciences Rubate is now offering health-related courses. Intake is currently ongoing for the Diploma in Kenya Registered Community Health Nursing. Approved by the Nursing Council of Kenya, the curriculum sets the base to develop and qualify competent nurses who will diligently serve locally and internationally in the healthcare systems. The admission requirements are a C-plane mean grade in KCSE, C-plane grade in biology, physical sciences, English or Kiswahili. Candidates who meet the minimum requirements by the Nursing Council and are willing to join should make a request in writing through an application letter downloadable from the college website. Located in Tharaka Nithi County, the Presbyterian College of Health Sciences Rubate has a well-equipped library, modern laboratory, computer lab, and demonstration rooms. For more information, call 0720-312-021, 0706-711-831 or 0737-141-401. Karibu.
Are you looking to grow your business? CAC TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@cactv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Right, welcome back. This is Uongozini show right here with the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, Reverend Dr. Robert Waihenya. Remember, the show is also streaming live on our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. Kindly CAC TV Kenya, go there and share. And if you have anything to say, just type, comment there, and we'll be able to look at that. Bwana SG, when we went for a break, we were looking at the definition of leadership, what leadership is. And I believe after getting the definition, then let's look at what good leadership is, because it's all about leadership. But what is good leadership? I know you've talked about being able to influence, being able to, lead from the front and be a good example. But according to you, what really makes a good leader stand out?
Well, several issues, Kelosi, about leadership. Number one, and at the top of it, is ability to define the direction of the organization.
Okay.
Not just defining it, but following it through. So a leader who is not clear about the direction of the organization cannot be able to lead the team effectively. Remember this, as you move along, because you are reading people, there are people who will try to divert you, people who will try to frustrate you. But a leader is supposed to define the direction of the organization and following it through. No matter how many voices of naysayers are there, follow through. Because remember, you're the one who is carrying the vision of the organization.
And at the end of the day, the back will stop at
The back stops with you.
Yeah.
Because you are the reader. A reader should not be swayed, right, left, and center. And that is why every leader should endeavor to unite his team so that you have a unity of purpose and a united direction. Because you might be reading, but because you've created so many factions within your team, this team is going this way, this team is going this way, it becomes tedious and it becomes very hard because you are not able to define the direction of your organization.
Yeah.
Number two is that every leader, and good leadership entails what we call sacrifice. You see, it will be bad manners for a leader to always think and see things from monetary value. That since I'm staying in the office up to 6, I need to sign and what do you call it? Overtime. Because I went, no, that is law. Leadership should have, and good leadership for that matter, and a good leader should have an element of sacrifice.
Okay.
A leader is supposed to feed his organization in many terms. But many times we find the organization is only the one which is feeding the leader. That is wrong. The organization should not sacrifice for you. You're the one who is supposed to sacrifice for the organization. That is leadership. That is leadership.
Yeah.
So that is one element, and it is lacking in many leaders. That is why we have seen many organizations fall. That is why churches fall. Because we have leaders who do not sacrifice at all for the organization. A leader should be sacrificial. Should be sacrificial.
Yeah.
You see, I always tell people, it is funny, if you find a leader in an organization who knows even, maybe you are given 20,520 and 30 cents. And you find a leader who is even following the cents. The cents. He knows that you never gave me my 30 cents. It's an indication of a bigger problem.
Is it an indication of bad leadership or being responsible and accountable?
A bad leader. A bad leader. Because he's lacking the element of sacrifice.
Okay.
So that is point number 2. Point number 3. A good leader should be a listening leader.
Listening.
And I always tell people listening is an art. And I don't forget to tell people that. Because if you don't listen well, Kelosi, maybe there is somebody who is listening at what we are saying. And we say it from the beginning that ours is not a lecture.
Yeah, it's not a lecture.
It's not a lecture.
It's a free show.
It's a free show.
Yeah.
The practical part of leadership.
Yeah.
And if we wanted it to be complicated, we can complicate it. And we bring theories and issues about leadership. But we said we want a very practical. So there is somebody who might be listening and not listening to understand what you're saying, but listening to criticize. Listening is an art. And for a reader, you must learn how to listen. As a reader, I must learn how to listen, everybody within the compound, the 60 plus people who report within the compound of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa head office. Right from the gate, those who are in the cloud, those who are in the swimming pool, those who are in the guest house, those who are in the office, listen. Lack in anything as a reader, but don't lack in the area of listening. You will always be making the long decisions. Fail to listen to those you're working with. You listen to others, and they'll lead you astray. Learn how to listen. Even those people you feel like they are not your equal, you feel like they are down there, learn how to listen.
But again, this also comes, this boils down to the environment that this leader is creating for people to speak. Because you might create an environment that people will say, I better shut up.
You know that brings this element, and it was not part of this. A leader should never confuse being feared as opposed to being respected. So if your employees fear you instead of respecting you, then you have failed in your leadership. If no employee, the sweeper in your office, the gardener in your compound, if they cannot freely walk into your office and tell you, sir or madam, I have this issue, there is a problem. Those people fear you. But because you are lonely up there, you might think, these people respect me. Never confuse. If I come to a restaurant here and I find people on a table and I sit and they all move,
they walk away.
And I think this is respect. I'm in a world of my own. You will fail terribly. You can't. So many leaders confuse fear for respect. And that answers your question.
Yeah, sure, because people think that when you're in a position and you're able to command, and people are able to, when you walk into a room, people freeze. That is authority, that is leadership. But as you said, people could be fearing you, but they don't have respect for you. When you walk out of the door, they say, look at this guy.
That's it.
And that is not respect.
That is not respect. I once walked into, I was in the US, I walked into, I'm forgetting, it's a company dealing with software, I'm forgetting the name. And when I was told, I walked there, this is the owner of the company, and they are walking around and seated with the employees without ties, without anything. I could not imagine. They're joking, they are laughing around, trying to crack some issue. That is leadership. Let me tell you, the colonial mentality of a leader, whereby you carry the crown, you are saluted,
and you rule the iron fist.
It is not working today. Yes, because of the colonial hangover, people might think a leader should be brutal, should be somebody with a bad, a bad face or something. No. It is not working these days. A leader is supposed to be somebody who is soft and able to listen. Be firm, yes, but allow others to be. Listen to them. Accommodate everybody. That is leadership. But when I want, two bouncers, beside me, and somebody to open my door, somebody, no, we are past that. That is not leadership. Let your leadership be experienced by people, but not being felt.
That is the point. Experience, not feel.
Yes. Let me not feel you because you are working with that aura of power and authority. You see? No. That is wrong. That is wrong. So, as a leader, you must understand how you act out, how you interact with people. Be simple.
And some of the solutions that you need, sometimes as a leader, will come from that person that you might be gagging. That person who is low down there, but you're not giving them an opportunity to talk.
Yes. When I am with my children at home, there are many things I don't know, definitely. And especially on things to do with technology. And
because of your generation,
yes,
the difference, of course.
Yes, and when I call my young son, he said, Daddy, you know, what is this troubling you? For 3 minutes. Let me tell you the truth. In my house, if I'm left alone, I'm not even able to operate.
Don't tell me you can't watch TV.
At times it becomes a challenge. And especially when they were doing their things there, it is a big challenge to me. There are many things I cannot access in the house, but they're there. And I must acknowledge that, yes, I'm their dad, but they are more techno-savvy than I am.
Yeah.
And I need them. I need their help. Not going with the figure of the dad, you know, I'm the head of the house. Head of who? They don't need to feel me, but they need to experience me, you know.
Yeah.
So that is it. The other thing, so that a reader, an effective reader is one who is ready to delegate. Let me add something to delegation. If I am a pastor of a parish and I'm supposed to over leadership, I can pretend like I'm delegating, whereby I'm calling Kelosi to come and preach in one of my congregations. But because of my insecurities, I ensure that I delegate to people who are not going to do better than me.
Yeah.
So that, because this element of a reader, feeling like everything is about comparing. You see, you are being compared. That is insecurity. And it's a big problem with readers. Whereby, as a Secretary General, I feel like I'm being compared with Waihenya is Waihenya.
There can be another.
And there will be never a better fashion of Waihenya.
Yeah.
Period. Kelosi will come and be the better fashion of himself, but not another fashion of
Another person.
Waihenya. No. So delegate responsibly. Delegate effectively. So that you delegate whatever you want done to people who can even do better than you. Yes, when I want to set somebody to do an assignment, can I get the best? Those who are going to carry the flag of my organization high. Not always setting people who are quota to. So that they'll be saying, it was good, but we missed you. You know, I feel good. Oh, great.
Yeah.
But that is wrong. Delegate effectively.
Yeah.
Delegate responsibly. So as a reader, learn how to delegate.
And you can only delegate to a person that you've allowed to build, a person that you impacted, a person that you've empowered, as you said.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now that you've seen a version of them that are going to deliver, now you can give them.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you haven't given them an opportunity to build themselves, to develop and be themselves.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That is how a reader should be.
Yeah.
I should not be insecure, because we are talking about insecurity, because the worst scenario, or the worst element, or the worst character, or the worst anything a reader can have is insecurity. If you are insecure, you'll do crazy things. You know, we'll talk about the dangers of being in leadership. But it is out of that. Even in the Bible, we see people like Saul trying to kill David, a young boy, because of insecurity. And failing to delegate anything to David. Do you know Saul never delegated anything to David, even after knowing that David is the one who is anointed to take over? None. Insecurity. So when he went berserk, he was running after the young boy to kill him because of insecurity. And many other examples in the Bible. Insecurity. Herod killed so many children because of insecurity. Yes. So we need to understand And even the reason why we are celebrating the death of Jesus Christ, the reason why he was killed, leadership in security. Because they said, oh, this man is taking over. The
King of
leadership.
Kings?
King of Kings.
Who is he?
Insecurity in leadership is dangerous. And because you have the power, you can do crazy things. So insecurity as the leader, it is important to know that. Then the other thing, so that we can move to maybe to another thing,
Yeah, sure.
is that every leader should be a uniting leader. Learn how to unite your people. We are
Be a
different.
unifying factor.
A unifying factor.
Yeah.
It would be bad if, as a leader, I become divisive. And it also takes toll on me. But I will destroy the organization. Be a unifying factor.
Yeah.
That is critical. And people are different. People think differently. People act differently. People will come to you accusing blah, 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 and telling you this and that. But Kelosi, you are a leader.
Yeah.
Unite your people. The leadership of the nation. You need to unite your people.
Yeah.
There is no shortcut about that. And people will still come and bring issues to you. But as a leader, you have a defined mandate of uniting your people.
Exactly.
Wherever you are. However small your organization is, however big your organization is. But if you divide people and you join one arm of the people, then as a leader, sorry, you have failed. And that is not proper leadership. So as a leader, you see in the book of Ezra, it says, this is how I became the leader. And the Lord ordered me to take the two staffs, the staff of love and the staff of generosity. It is about uniting people with love. So for you to become a leader, you must unite your people. And human beings are human beings. They have these characteristic of disintegrating, having divisions, having factions. But as a leader, you become the leader of those who love you and those who don't love you. Remember the 20-20-60 principle.
Yeah.
You become the leader of them all. Yes.
It's like right now in the country, the president has to be the president of those who voted him and those who did not. Yeah.
And even those who stayed at home. The 20%
who did not vote for the other.
just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know what is happening.
Yeah.
So you are their president.
Yeah.
You are their president.
Yeah.
I was about to say something else, but I've held it back. But you become the president of those who love you and those who don't love you.
Yeah.
Don't divide. Don't divide. Unite and forge on.
And I'm sorry, these are just come up, and we must talk about it now that it has come, that's popped in, and I'm told time is really moving on. 1 hour is really short sometimes. But talking about uniting the country, uniting your people and your leader. We've seen what has happened in the last couple of weeks in the country, and here we are. Yesterday there was a very big development. After weeks of demonstration, the president came out and spoke to the opposition in a way that I'm ready for dialogue. And the opposition said, the opposition in quotes because the constitution does not grant that, the other side came and said, we are ready. We're also ready to talk. And they called off their Monday and Thursday protest for this week. When you look at that, do you see leadership from both sides?
Yeah, definitely, Kerosi, this is what we call leadership. And this is good. Because we just say that leadership is sacrificial. Much as you feel entitled, you learn how to dialogue and to listen to the other party. And therefore, I want to say that the president did a very good thing. That was clear leadership. Remember, it was not a popular voice from, going by what those close to the president were saying. It was not a popular voice.
Yeah.
But the president saying, I'm putting the national interests, much as I know I'm entitled, but I'm putting my personal interest aside because of the national,
larger national
interest.
Yeah.
That was leadership. And we need to commend the president for that. You know, the president has said, we are not negotiating, we are not talking. But now listening again, and he said it very well. I've listened to the church leaders, I've listened to other people, I've listened to our partners, and I've thought it is nice that we sit down and discuss.
Yeah.
That is leadership. That is leadership. Because leadership, you must be ready to stand alone. Take responsibility.
Yeah.
Leadership is about giving direction, as we have said. This is a direction. I want my organization, and for that matter, the organization is Kenya.
Yeah.
This is a direction
Yeah.
I wish to see my country follow.
Yeah.
That is leadership. Again, it was a leadership from the opposition, because immediately they heard that. And you see, you know, leadership is tricky, because as a leader, there are so many voices surrounding you. And the opposition leader standing and saying, I'm calling off the demonstrations.
Yeah.
That was leadership.
Yeah.
Because I want to tell you again, not everybody was for
That.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Not all of them are for that dialogue. So I want to commend the two parties and to say that, yes, they demonstrated leadership, because as a leader, seek to understand everybody, but don't seek to be understood. That is what I was told when I was doing leadership. And as a leader, you must remain fake on some issues. And here, I love the fakeness of the leadership now. Everybody is wondering, what will happen?
Yeah, what next?
What next? And he said, I'm open for talks. Then let us sit and talk. That fakeness is good for leadership.
Okay.
And I love it. And I want to commend the two parties for what they did, because that is what we call true leadership.
Sure.
Yes. Do you know, it is only that he's the president. But there are so many people who are feeling deep inside their hearts, no, our president, why did you do this?
You can't do that.
How can
You
do
have
this?
the power to
We've been
muzzle these
saying
people.
no, we've been saying no, but he said no. This is a direction.
Yeah.
As a leader, be ready to stand alone. Be ready to be deserted. If at all you are convinced this is a vision and this is a direction, I'm taking my organization.
Sure. When SG, I don't know how it just came to 9, because we began a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot that we've not talked about, a lot that we've not covered on the realities of leadership, for that matter. As you said, one of the realities, be ready to stand alone. That's
You're right.
real. Yeah. People desert you. People will walk away, but be ready to stand alone.
Sure.
Because leadership is not about, or it's not about roses. And when I came to your office someday, and there's a quote I saw on the wall that this is not an easy chair.
It is not an easy seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think next time we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we say, but I can say, yes, it is not an easy chair.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, people only see the chair, but it is not easy.
Not
So maybe next time we'll discuss about the challenges of leadership
Yeah.
and the chair itself.
Yeah.
Because it is only you who is seated on that chair
Yeah.
knows the challenges of that chair.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this chair, the
chair.
Secretary General chair, for
Yeah.
that matter, next time.
We'll talk about
Because you've been here now. This is your...
This is, we're now getting to our third year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it has not been easy.
Yeah. It's not an easy chair. And
I
think-
wish, yeah, you know, let's talk about it when we get there, because this is one of You know, there's a program called 100 Ways
To die.
to Die.
1,000 ways to die.
1,000 ways to
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
I think they should be added as the 1,001
Should be
ways.
the
to
1,001
die.
way.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but
It's a good experience.
It's a
though,
good
so far.
experience. It's a good experience. Yeah, it's a good experience.
Wow. I can't wait for the next episode of the show.
Sure.
That will be the first Monday of next month.
Sure.
Because the show will be coming to you every Monday, every first Monday of the month. We've had a first show just to give you an introduction, a preamble for that matter of the show. But next time we will talk deeply into who the SG is, the experience on leadership now, on that not so easy chair of the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, the third year in office as part of the GA of the 23rd General Assembly for that matter.
Yeah.
And we would like to hear his experience for that matter. I would like us to call it a day, but I want to give you an opportunity to give you your final word, even as I know you summarize the whole lesson as a lecturer, as you do in school.
Yeah, thank you, listeners. This is a good program, and we look forward to enhancing it, and even as we continue to have various panelists to discuss leadership. Leadership is dynamic. Leadership is what we need, and therefore let us always be here. Let us run the challenges and the opportunities in leadership, and leadership comes from God.
Yeah.
And therefore, we rely on God, the author and the finisher of our faith, and also the author and the finisher of our leadership. So thank you so much, and let us continue with CAC TV. God bless you.
Great. Even as we call it a night here, my SMS line, I'm told, is not working, has issues, but I have one or two here. Agithua Wakwa Michael, watching, great to what a show that is leadership defined. Say hi to SG. This must be an ardent follower of the SG here. And there is also one John Mba here, who's also texted me here saying, wow, a real eye-opener, learning more tips on leadership. I know this is your colleague here at the head office, so he must be learning a lot from the show tonight. And we want to tell you that it's just the beginning. We are just setting the pace. Now we begin. Next episode will be of even higher quality and a level for that matter. I want to say thank you for being a part of this show, the first show. We'd like to know what you have to say about it. Your feedback will be very important in taking us forward as far as this show is concerned. So keep on chatting with us. Keep on sending in your feedback through our SMS number 0111200 for our Facebook page, CAC TV Kenya, as well as our Twitter handle, CAC TV Kenya. Of course, my Twitter handle is @VinKerosi, and I believe that the next time we come here, the SG will have opened up his social media so that you can be able to chat with him. But that is it. We call it a night.
Yeah,
I want to wish you
you.
a good night and a good begin to the week. It's Monday. Tomorrow is a working day.
Yeah, sure.
And we continue.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd love to see you again next time. God bless you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night from us here. CAC TV. Keep it CAC TV. Keep watching the rest of the programming. Good night once again.